Welcome to Eleonora's Space. So today I'm talking about restoration. If there is any word I have heard repeatedly, as in a prophetic word I have heard repeatedly this year, is restoration and speed, and I'll be zooming on into restoration. So I just want us to discuss briefly what restoration is, why is there the need for us to pray for restoration, and what are some of the things that God can restore unto a man. So to start with, what is restoration? Restoration is the act or process of returning something to its original, normal, or unimpaired condition. This is the dictionary definition of restoration. But in Christian context or biblical context, restoration goes beyond just restoring things to its original or normal state, even though that too can be done. If you look at the case of Job, in Job 42 verse 10, after Job's trials, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. So meaning, in biblical terms, or when it comes to God, he can restore a double portion of even what you lost, and that is the good thing. In Zechariah 9:12 also talks about restoring a double. And sometimes things cannot always be restored to their normal or original state. For instance, if I'm using relationships as a case study, if you miss out on your life partner, for instance, somebody maybe you needed to settle down with, and then for one reason or the other you broke up with the person, if you pray for restoration, if the person has moved on or is married, God is not going to necessarily bring that person back to you, but he can raise another person, another partner that aligns with your purpose, that aligns with your calling, and that is also another form of restoration. And so in biblical context, it goes beyond just restoring things back to original. God can even exceed your expectation, and that is why it is crucial. Now, why do we have to pray for restoration? It is important because in Joel 2:25, Bible makes us understand that God says, I will restore to you the years that the locust have eaten, the canker worm, the palmer worm, and the locust have eaten. And I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. So this simply means that sometimes out of life happens, carelessness, ignorance, we make mistakes and we miss out on opportunities, we miss out on our growth, our calling, our partners, destiny relationships. When I say destiny relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean marital relationships, but destiny advancing relationships, even your soul. Sometimes demonic orchestrations can make you miss out on certain opportunities. You'll just be going around in circles. It takes you years before you realize that no, I should not have been, or I should have been far ahead of where I am today. And so God, in his infinite mercy and wisdom, has factored into his programming these human limitations. He knows that as human beings, these limitations will come, and then we will miss out on opportunities, we will miss out on destiny relationships and all that. And that is why he has made the restoration possible, so that you pray. You will just not sit down and it will restore. The mere fact that you are a believer does not necessarily mean that things will come to you naturally. I'm sorry, you have to fight for them, you have to pray for them. And that is why in Isaiah 42 verse 22, the Bible says that, but this is a people robbed and plundered. All of them are snared in holes, and they are hidden in prison houses. They are for a prey, and no one delivers, for plunder, and no one says restore. If you sit down and see that things are not going right, things are not where they should be or how they should be, and you don't stand up, this is not the time for you to do blame games or start regretting or doing things. Yes, it's good you take responsibility of your actions and inactions if you reflect and see where the mistakes are. But beyond that, You need to cry for mercy, and after crying for mercy, the next thing you should pray for is God should restore. If you don't cry for restoration, my sister, your tears alone will not solve the problem. You need to cry. You need to be able to identify the gaps, things that are not working in your life, areas that are not working, mistakes that you made that brought you to this currency, and cry to the Lord to what? To restore. Sometimes out of disobedience, we walk around in circles. You are in a place, you are in a career, you are in a relationship that you know is going nowhere. All the signs are there, but you are stuck in them until time is gone, and then before you have realized, or the person will show you small shaggy, then you now get to know that so all these things, even though as sad as it is, there is hope. Bible says there is hope for a tree at the scent of water, it sprouts back. So there is hope, and that is the opportunity for you to pray for restoration. What are some of the things that God can restore? It's not limited to these things. Time, like I said, the years the locusts destroyed, the palmer worm, the canker worm, the caterpillar, God can restore. He can redeem time. 10 years he can compress it into 1 year. 1 year he can compress it into 1 month. God is capable. That is why you have to rise up and pray. If you see that you have wasted so many years in a place or in something that you shouldn't have been doing, my sister, it is not over, it is not lost. Carry the pieces and go to God and cry that he should restore. He will restore even beyond your expectation. What other things can God restore? Things, material things. What is it? Material things, resources. Sometimes in our homes, life happens. We are human beings. Sometimes people, human manipulations and all those things, you miss out on things, and then you think that it's all lost. But no, if you pray, God can restore things. He will restore. For instance, in the case of Job did not just lose. He lost animals. He lost everything we know. It was only his wife, even his children. And so that tells you, your marriage, that marriage you think is not doing well, God can restore it. That relationship, or the things that you have lost, even children, miscarriages, whatever, God can restore beyond your expectation. So you need to pray. And then what else? Opportunities. We all miss out on opportunities here and there. You are due for promotion in your office. Unfortunately, maybe your boss does not like you, so he decides to, sabotage the process or something. Just an example. Or there are things you yourself, out of your ignorance, disobedience, or for some reason or the other, you didn't utilize the opportunity very well. Certain opportunities too came, you didn't even discover that they were opportunities until they went by. So when you get to realize this, you can pray, and God, it might not be the same way, but God can reorchestrate opportunities for your sake. How about relationships? This is a place that, a lot of us, like I said earlier, destiny advancing relationships. Sometimes we see people, we undermine people, put strategic people in our lives, but because you are not discerning enough, you just look at the person's current situation. Some of us concentrate on looks and other things, and we miss out on people years down the line before you get to know that, no, this person was actually meant for your destiny. This is not the time to cry. Regret. Just pray to God. That person might not come back, but God can show you mercy and bring other people that still align with your destiny, can still push you forward. And then finally, your soul. It is important to also pray. God can restore souls. If you go to Psalm 23, he says he restored my soul. He can restore your soul. He can restore the souls of family members that are lost, are not saved and all that. And that is why, so today, if you are coming across this message, I encourage you to pray. Lord, please restore all lost relationships, or lost time, lost opportunities, lost things, and lost souls. In anywhere I made a mistake, I bring it back to you. Please restore. Thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share, and I'll see you another time. Bye.